All right. Welcome to the last webinar, Regrid webinar of the year. This is the end of year recap webinar, and we're going to talk about what a phenomenal year 2022 has been for us, for Regrid. And joining me is Jerry Paffendorf, our CEO and co-founder. Hey, Jerry, how has this year been for you?
You know, one of the challenges of this end of year recap is actually remembering all the things that happened this year. And I think part of that is just life, and part of it is also everybody kind of still coming out of this tail end of the pandemic where we did traveling and team meetings for the first time in a while this year. And so it was like, what did happen in 2022? Wait, January was a part of this year? That's a minute ago now. So yeah.
I know. It's been a busy year, but also it felt like a breeze. Like, so much happened. And before you know it, we are doing end of year reports, some of which we'll talk about today on this webinar as well. But yeah, it's been a year where we hired quite a bit. We started the year with a lot of hiring. We started off the year with the very first product launch in January, which was premium parcels plus match secondary addresses. It feels like we've had this product for a long time, but we officially launched it in January of 2022. It's been very well received. We've seen significant adoption for it, along with Parcels Plus matched building footprints that we launched late last year. It's we've done a lot of things from, wondering if it makes sense to travel to actually now becoming frequent travelers. It's so weird. We launched our Esri compatible feature service this summer. Yep. And right after the launch, we exhibited at the Esri user conference for the first time in July, with many members from the team, including yourself, going to San Diego. That was probably the first flight for many of us.
That was my first pandemic. Yeah, that was my first time flying in years, listening for every little cough on the airplane and shrinking into my own space on stuff. And then having an amazing time with everybody. And then not long after that, I know we were trying to get the entire team together up here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we had some flight issues and couldn't do it. But then we got together in Granville, Tennessee in October, which was amazing to see, you know, 30 some colleagues or whatnot for the first time in person in a long time. And then and then here's the more of that in next year. I know it's fun to be able to get that to change again. So
and it was first time for meeting many of our colleagues, period. Like we, some of us had met each other pre-pandemic, and then we hired a lot since 2020. So most of the team was seeing each other for the first time at the retreat, and it was such a fun experience. Remote work's great, but meeting your colleagues in person, nothing matches that.
No, it's awesome. I think this is an experience that a lot of folks have now too, though. It's funny because the miracle of video chat, in addition to Slack and other tools, means that when you meet people in person for the first time, there's not a huge transition. Mercifully, I think it's just like, oh, amazing! I can give you a hug though, or a high five, or whatever. But so that's been awesome. And I know a lot of companies are going through this, trying to figure out like how to balance these things out when travel becomes possible and common again. But our stance is like we're going to stay remote as a business, but we're just going to get together more frequently, and get together as like departments more frequently. So that'll be great. Yeah.
That'll be exciting. That's something definitely that I'm looking forward to from 2023 onwards, is multiple ways to catch up with colleagues, from within the department to the entire team. And trying that for the first time this year was great. And we, and I think really that Esri user conference sort of kicked that off for us. We, we had the executive retreat after that and the whole team. And it's also been a deeper partnership with Esri this year, right? We became Esri certified partners. We launched the Esri compatible feature service, which now allows our data to be directly, loaded and used in an Esri environment without any data wrangling or any other special integration. It's easy peasy. And then we exhibited at UC, and now we'll be wrapping up the year by listing our products on the Esri marketplace. So It's been, a deep dive and a deeper partnership with Esri this year, and a whole lot of improvements across the board to our products. And I think that segues perfectly into what we launched this morning. This is becoming our annual
Tradition.
tradition. Yeah, we've been doing this for the past 3 years successfully, which is essentially doing a report that showcases all the KPIs, the key performance indicators of our nationwide parcel data in a very in a very nifty way across multiple different categories. And if it's available on the reports page, the link is also put up here. If you go to resources and reports, you'll find this report here. You can download it. It just basically talks about these things. How our data performed compared to this time last year. So we're competing with ourselves. We are always trying to get better and better and making sure that our data is improving across multiple different KPIs as listed below. And you'll find each one of them here. And, just how much we've improved in our parcel geometry age. Speaks to our currency, how frequently we update our data, the coverage we have. I mean, there's only 36 counties remaining that we don't have.
I think next year's report is going to have a different flavor too, because
Yeah.
it'll just be like they're all there. I can't say that for a fact. There's lots of peculiarities to the remaining 36, but there's so few remaining. It's almost, you just want to be like, okay, there's 36 we don't have, and we're working on digitizing or getting them. So, the coverage is awesome.
Yeah. This is a big shout out to our data team. They work tirelessly to keep improving our data qualities across these different KPIs, as the report shows. We made a bunch of other improvements. We added delivery methods and delivery formats this year. And these are all the launches we had. I mean, the first 2 launches that we talked about, but there were many others that we added through the year. It was, like I said, very busy year. And there's just going to be more of this again next year. I think that's kind of been the theme here is we take what we have, we make it better every year. And there's a little quote from you here.
Oh, I know that guy. Yep. No, it's true.
And then this is the picture from our retreat.
Look at that beautiful. It was actually very cold in Tennessee. The week before and the week after we were there, it was in the 80s, and it dipped down to freezing in the evenings. And I think the highs were often in the 40s or 50s. But it was a great time, and we actually got to use and enjoy the big campfire setup that the resort
we did.
has.
Yeah. We made sure of it. Yes, and bribe anybody to smile so much for this picture. Everyone was naturally very happy. And I want to talk about the other report we did. So we usually just do the parcel data report, but this time we did another one because we completed 1 full year of our nonprofit and academia support program that we formally announced and launched called Data with Purpose. And this is something that has been close to our roots for many years, but after formalizing it, 2022 was its 1 full complete year as a self-serving, as a self-sufficient program within the Regrid universe. And we have the report for this here, along with some of the key customer projects that we were able to work on as a part of this program. And some of them have had great impact regionally and nationally. And we are so proud that, our data was used in multiple different ways to help very meaningful projects.
Well, if I can say on this, so yeah, the Data with Purpose program, I know when Regrid started as Loveland Technologies, these years ago, a lot of our customers were government, they were nonprofit, they were community groups, they were researchers, and we loved it because we're genuinely interested. I think like the core of our DNA as a team is like we're genuinely and generally interested in land and how land is used and how people live on it, and the systems that are required to make that work comfortably. And so being able to have a program, to have enough business success where we can actually have a program that does something very unique, which is say like, if you're a nonprofit, if you're a university researcher, if you're a public benefit project, we'll not only work with you, but we have a big front door for you. And we've got a very easy application to work with us. And I frankly think that this model that we've put forward here of the honestly self-assessed, pay what you can pricing, where if you're a very large nonprofit, you may have a good budget for data, and we want you to honestly self-assess and work with you that you can pay perhaps more than somebody who's an individual researcher at a university. And Alex also, who directs this program, does a really great job working with everybody who applies to go through that honest self-assessment and arrive at something that's fair to everybody. And I think it's just sort of a beautiful thing in the space. I mean, I know that there are other data organizations that do work with nonprofits, but I think this approach is something unique that we do that's super enjoyable to work on. It really is something to I love looking at this stuff at the end of the year, because all these projects want to tell their stories, because they're all trying to help people do something or understand something or preserve land or help people with housing. And so the stories from this stuff are just awesome. So it's a super great program. If you have not seen regrid.com/purpose, we've got a simple application form on there, and tell your friends, who work in nonprofit and academia, that they've got a friendly partner here at Regrid.
Absolutely. And I have that link up right here as well. There's a form at the bottom of this page. We want to hear more stories from you, but reach out to us, and there's more that we want to do through this program in 2023. Jerry, since we're talking about some of the projects that meant so much to us this year, do you want to quickly talk about the Nature Conservancy project?
Yeah, well, I'll mention one, because when I was reflecting on the year and just doing my Marie Kondo of what genuinely brings me joy. Joy, yeah. So Mary and I live on the Keweenaw Peninsula of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. So we're way up here on Lake Superior, and just a lot of the natural environment here is huge and pristine. Lots of forests, lots of coastline. And what's happened over time with timber and copper industry leaving is a lot of the space had been kind of accidentally privately owned, I'll say. So you've got these big concerns who no longer use it. So has been de facto public, and it's been de facto wild, right? So it's and what's been happening as the years go on is some of those companies start to wake up and kind of want to sell it off. And in the ways that they can sell it off, there's a way to sell it off that can protect it and keep it beautiful and pristine and wild. And there's a way to sell it off that leads to it being kind of checkerboarded with vacation houses and no longer open for access for people. And earlier this year, there were more than 32,000 acres of the peninsula that were being essentially put up for sale to the highest bidder. And one of the possibilities was it would just be, kind of parceled off in these places where you used to be able to go and walk and hunt and hike and, cross country ski and, ride your snowmobile, whatever, would kind of be blocked off. And so the Nature Conservancy really stepped up and assembled the funding to go ahead and purchase this entire 32,000 plus acre space, and then work with lots of local conservation groups, local governments, to figure out a future where it remains open for the public and protected for wildlife. And they're a customer of our nationwide data set, and they gave us the nicest testimonial that just made me want to cry when they talked about, so I don't know, just kind of quote this here. So Regrid parcel data was the essential starting place for the Nature Conservancy's recent 32,000 acre land acquisition in Michigan. We were able to compare the parcel data to the tax and legal descriptions, even within the tricky assessor plats and government lots. The data helped us identify the areas of difference and work towards resolution with the title company and previous landowner. And that was Emily Clegg, the director of land and water management at TNC. And I take a moment to underscore it, because people do lots of cool stuff with our data. We get involved in lots of cool stuff. Every now and again, it kind of comes home with a project where it's and obviously part of this is me and Mary literally being surrounded by this land, but it was wow, playing a small role in something that significant happening just kind of speaks to the power and the importance of the data and the joy of the work that we get to do. So
that's why we got into this, right? But that testimonial is on our site in multiple places. If you want to read up more about that project.
That on a t-shirt. I'm so happy about that one. That one really makes me smile. So
Oh yeah, that's a good t-shirt idea. We should try that.
Long block of text.
All right. So that was 2022. I think we were only able to cover maybe less than 5% of what happened in 2022, but hey, we did so much. Now looking to 2023.
Okay. I was going to say, okay, you're looking forward now. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you most excited about? Something that's coming up very quickly here in January for us?
I'm excited about a lot of the projects we have planned and the new products we have planned. But one thing that's
Yeah.
also near and dear to me that I'm excited about is we're releasing on January 17th a significant update to our mobile app. So the Regrid property app will have not just an incremental update, but almost like a full like repositioning and a full like
Design. Oh yeah.
messaging update to it. And I say that for folks who use the app because we have many app users. Many people find great utility in the parcel lookup and being able to collect information from the field. The app doesn't lose any of those pieces, but in my mind, it becomes much more accessible to a more popular audience who really wants an easy way to not just look stuff up, but to follow updates and changes to the properties and places that they care about. And so this was a fun one because we've had years now. I posted something. I mean, like we did our first mobile app. It was like 10 years ago. You know, based in Detroit for making information easy to see and to go out and like scout and survey properties. And so we've learned a lot over that time. And we've also like developed our own feelings about like, what do I really want from the app as a person? You know, I just think like, I love using it, but how can I like using it even more? And how can it better help educate me about land without feeling like work? So without being overly specific, like you'll see stuff in January that we're really excited about getting out to you. So that's I'll leave it there. But yeah, the app is a big one for me.
Yeah, that'll be the first big launch for us in the new year. So be on the lookout for it. And then there are going to be other products for the rest of the year, but without giving too much away, you know, more matched data sets, more ways to solve very core problems and use cases that require parcel data and few other data sets on top of parcel data. So we're solving for those. We did that with matched building footprints, matched secondary addresses. So be on the lookout for more such solutions that help solve a big problem with one combined solution. You know, it's faster time to market, it's better ROI, it saves a lot of costs, and it solves a very big problem for a lot of people. So look forward to that. You'll see updates as usual from the Regrid team through the year, but yeah, it's been a great year. We are all excited to kind of wind down a little bit for the holidays, enjoy some time with the family, and then recharge and be back for, you know, better products, better, bigger, more robust solutions.
Yeah,
Does
sounds
that sound
great.
good, Jerry?
Yeah, right. It's about time. It's that time of the year, right? To look back and enjoy some of the stuff that we did over the course of the year. So.
All right. With that, let's wrap it up. Happy holidays, everyone, and stay healthy.
Thank you, Sahana. Thank you to our whole team. Thank you to all of our customers, and users, and fans, and all that stuff.
Partners. Yep.
Always reach us at parcels@regrid.com.
Parcels@regrid.com. No matter the question, we'll be able to answer them. Thank you so much. See you all in 2023. Bye.